Hello again, everyone. Edwin Lerner back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about Jupiter in conjunct Chiron in a natal chart. Now, some of you may remember when I first started my YouTube astrology channel, I did a series on the aspects in the natal chart. They're a little bit concise. Some people may have referred to them as snappy, so what I decided to do is make another series on them in which the videos would be a little bit longer and more descriptive. So anyway, first thing up is we have Jupiter in conjunct Chiron in your natal chart. One way it may manifest is that there may be an adjustment, which is the inconjunct, may be needed between expanding horizons, which is Jupiter, and helping and healing others, which is Chiron. Now, one or the other may be overemphasized. The key is to find the balance and equilibrium between the two. It could be where you're so dominated by expanding horizons to, for yourself to the expense and exclusion of helping and healing others at times, or it could be the other way around. You may be, helping and healing others, attending to their needs, to be helped and healed, and, may monopolize your time to the expense of of expanding horizons for yourself. So, again, it's about finding the balance, the equilibrium, the harmony with this energy. Now, let's say, for example, if Chiron is in, let's say it's in Aquarius, you may, be helping and healing others just simply by helping them integrate, assisting them integrate into society more, helping them in matters of groups and clubs and organizations. It could be through astrology or computers, electronics, somehow. And another way Jupiter in conjunct Chiron can be expressed in a natal chart is that there may be an imbalance, which is the inconjunct, between activities associated with in-laws and foreigners, which is Jupiter, and healers, which is Chiron. You may be dominated by one or the other. It could be in some instances where, times where, in-laws and foreigners, the activities, the things you're doing with them or for them, may monopolize your time, and it could be to the expense of, matters that you're dealing with healers, or it could be the other way around, that healers may dominate your time to the expense and exclusion of those, of in-laws and foreigners. So again, it's about finding the balance, the equilibrium, the harmony with that energy. The thing is, let's say, if Chiron is in Aries as an example, those healers, maybe those that may help you, in terms of, it could be, finding, some identity, fitting in with the world, or it could be matters with aggression or being more aggressive, assertive, forceful about things, helping you in terms of, doing things, with little hesitation or procrastination. And, the thing about Jupiter in conjunct Chiron as well is that it could either be, at times you may have an exorbitant amount of exuberance and enthusiasm, which is Jupiter, again, in helping and healing others, which is Chiron. Then there may be other times where there's, it's non-existence, where there's no, exuberance and enthusiasm, just very stolid or passive about things, or just more apathetic regarding, helping and healing others. So the thing is, if you have Chiron in Taurus as an example, you may help and heal others, with monetary situation, or it could be other self-worth, or matters of persistence, patience, perseverance. It could be over matters pertaining, to possessions, as some examples. It could also be, too, another way, Jupiter in conjunct Chiron may manifest in the natal chart is that, Jupiter-related people may either be extremely, advantageous, or strongly, conflict with you dealing with your deepest wound, which is Chiron. Now, Jupiter-related people, that encompasses a number of persons, again, whether it could be in-laws, foreigners, people that are involved in sports, the outdoors, publishing, advertising, real religion, philosophy, higher education, printing press operation even. And so at times, these people may be very helpful, in terms of, supportive, dealing with your deepest wound, and other times they just may be oblivious to it. So, if you have, Chiron in Gemini as an example, that deepest wound may be tied in with one's cerebral or intellectual ability. It may be associated, with there may be issues with disseminating or assimilating information. Maybe even manual dexterity, such as an ability, to perform work in auto or refrigeration mechanics, as an example. Could be issues with diversifying and expressing versatility, as some other examples. Now, another thing too is that healers, which is Chiron, may either be extremely helpful or beneficial, or they may be just apathetic or conflict, with you dealing with any issues that may be associated with religion, philosophy, publishing, higher education, or the law, which is Jupiter. Now, if you have Jupiter in Aquarius as an example, it may be, you may have some kind of unusual or unorthodox type of belief or philosophy, or it may be tied in with astrology. It may be that you're not, supported, by others, the way you want, in those matters. Or, let's say, Jupiter is in the zodiac sign, Cancer as an example. There may be issues with the law, maybe something, involving some property, some home-related issue, maybe, home is vandalized or robbed or something. As some examples, Jupiter in Gemini may be dealing with issues of having, their work plagiarized, or, they may be suing somebody over forgery or theft, as some examples. Now, another thing, too, is that, if you're, the thing about this is, activities, associated, with things that are Jupiter related, which include sports, the outdoors, higher education, religion, may either be very, propitious and favorable for issues with dealing with a depleted self-esteem, which is Chiron, or at times there just simply may be no help whatsoever. So, let's say, if Jupiter is in Sagittarius, there may be some interest in sports, associated with horses, such as horseback riding, or something that involves targets, like something with darts or archery. As some examples, Jupiter in Gemini may have, some interest or be enamored with more like the quick reaction sports, such as badminton, racquetball, table tennis, as some examples. And, the thing about, this too is, you have to, keep in mind, when you have inconjuncts in astrology, it could be a very, strong imbalance of energy. It could be a lot of vacillation and distortion of energy. So it could be where, you're focusing on one thing to the expense of another. And it's just important to keep that in mind, to always, focus on, try to, if you have inconjuncts in your chart in general, to focus on, finding, that equilibrium, with that energy. And also to keep in mind that Chiron, is connected with astrology as well. So it could indicate, you may either have, an exorbitant amount of exuberance and enthusiasm in matters with astrology, but other times, you just may be apathetic, regarding it. Also, too, to keep in mind, if you have, Chiron, retrograde in your natal chart, the suffering you may be enduring, may be more internalized and suppressed, and there may be more emphasis on self-healing in contrast to Chiron being direct in one's natal chart. Let's say if Chiron is in Leo as an example, there may be some suffering one is enduring, connected with matters of pride or ego, being, could be demoralized or demeaned somehow, or not, simply not being lauded and praised for one's effort, but it may be more suppressed and internalized as opposed to being expressed outwardly. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin, saying stay